Let's talk about something most of us do but don't really think about: hiding our emotions. Emotional suppression is when someone pushes their feelings deep down instead of expressing them. Maybe they're afraid of being judged or don't want to appear weak. Sometimes they might not even realize they're doing it. They've just gotten used to pretending everything is fine. We all do this in some way, right? Think about a time when you felt hurt but said, "I'm fine." Or when you wanted to cry but held it in because you didn't want anyone to see. Emotional suppression might seem harmless in the moment, but it builds up over time, like a dam holding back water. Sooner or later, it overflows. The psychology behind emotional suppression. So why do we hide our emotions? Let's break it down. 1. Fear of judgment. We think if we share our feelings, people will see us as weak or dramatic. Imagine a teenager who's struggling with anxiety, but says nothing because they fear their friends might not understand. 2. Cultural and family norms. In some families, showing emotions is seen as a sign of weakness. "Don't cry, be strong," is something many of us have heard growing up. Over time, we learn to bottle things up. 3. Protecting others. Sometimes people suppress emotions because they don't want to burden others. A parent struggling financially might hide their stress to avoid worrying their children. 4. Avoiding vulnerability. Being open about feelings can make us feel exposed. It's easier to put on a brave face than risk being hurt. Signs someone is hiding their emotions. It's not always easy to spot when someone is suppressing their feelings. Most people won't say, "Hey, I'm hiding my emotions," but their behavior often gives them away. Let me share some signs and examples you might have seen around you. 1. Mismatch between words and actions. What happens? They say they're okay, but their body language says otherwise. For example, a friend tells you, "I'm fine," but avoids eye contact, fidgets with their hands, or forces a smile that doesn't reach their eyes. Deep down, they're not fine at all. 2. Avoiding emotional topics. What happens? They quickly change the subject when feelings come up. For example, you ask your sibling about a tough day at school, and they respond with, "Let's talk about something fun." It's their way of avoiding the discomfort of opening up. 3. Using humor to mask feelings. What happens? They make everything a joke, even serious matters. For example, a coworker laughs off a tough breakup saying, "Who needs love anyway?" But their shaky laughter tells a different story. They're hurting but don't want to show it. 4. Getting easily irritated. What happens? They snap over small things because their bottled up emotions have no outlet. For example, a parent yells at their child for spilling juice, but later admits they're stressed about work. Their reaction wasn't about the juice, it was about everything they've been holding inside. 5. Overly controlled behavior. What happens? They seem too calm or robotic, as if they're forcing themselves to stay composed. For example, a student talks about failing a test with a straight face, saying, "It's fine," but their stiff posture and clenched fists reveal their disappointment and frustration. 6. Constantly staying busy. What happens? They fill their schedule with tasks to avoid sitting with their thoughts. For example, after a tough breakup, someone might dive into work or start new hobbies, not because they're fine, but because they're running from their emotions. Let's take a moment and be real. Hiding your emotions isn't easy, is it? Think about how exhausting it feels to constantly act like everything is fine when deep down it's not. Pretending to be happy, brushing off hurtful comments, or bottling up anger, it's like carrying a heavy backpack that only gets heavier the longer you hold on to it. You smile when you're breaking inside. You say, "I'm fine," when you're not. And no one around you even knows because you've become so good at hiding it. But let me ask you this. How long can you keep doing that? How long can you keep shoving those feelings down, hoping they'll disappear? The truth is, they don't disappear. They sit there, piling up, waiting to burst out in ways you can't control. Maybe through stress, anxiety, or even strained relationships. And the hardest part? You feel like no one truly sees you, because the real you is hidden behind the mask you wear every day. In the next video, let's talk about what this weight does to us, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We'll also explore how we can lighten that load step by step. Because here's the thing, you don't have to carry it alone. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.